Story. First of all, I just want to show you that I am still, my other main T-shirt is the peace symbol, and it also has got the country of Brazil on it. This was I don't know. Rumpelstiltskin made me buy it at the Value Village in inner city area of Thunder Bay. I don't know, over 6 years ago, because Rumpelstiltskin directed me to get a bunch of stuff that I had to buy. Meant the Rumpelstiltskin, just so you know, because he duppied me. You know what a duppy is? Duppy. It's a zombie, and he did take me out as a human being. Whatever free will I had was gone when Rumpelstiltskin came 6 years ago. Didn't explain anything to me at all, other than I was hijacked by someone who was calling themselves Rumpelstiltskin. And Rumpelstiltskin kept me going to my regular job, personal support worker at Hogarth Riverview Manor, the old folks' home on Lily Street, the great big one. Yeah, a regular PSW there. I was in those days assigned to Birch Grove unit. Yep. And one of the people that I worked there with is Deb Twance, Twance. She's also a PSW. And she told me that she's First Nations. Well, just because there seems to be a lot of First Nations that are questioning, am I don't know. Am I what? I don't know. Am I what? Are you judging me on the color of my skin or the quality of my character? Dr. Martin Luther King is a black man. And that's what I'm going to tell all of you people over and over and over again. Because there's just like a horrible racist attitude. And, if you're going to be that way, then how are you going to deal with the Star Nations? Because do you expect them to be not multicolored? I mean, really, if you can't get along with multicolored people here on planet Earth, how are you going to deal with Star Nations? I mean, you're going to have to sit on that one for a while, aren't you? Because what if the Star Nations people are reptilian? And they're green or brown or something? Well, I don't know, because you're going to have to get over the idea that the physical vessel reflects the spirit inside of it. I shouldn't even have to, in 2022, I shouldn't have to even bring it up. But that's what I'm given. Okay, the other story that I want to tell you is many years ago. Easily 15 years ago. I was by myself, and I got an apartment in Whistler, British Columbia, and I basically stayed in the apartment for the summer. Just me, by myself, avoiding people, on retreat, spiritual retreat. Well, escape from Vancouver, pretty much. Had to leave that place, just the energy of that place, ungodly. So I was up there, and I burned a lot of incense sticks and a lot of candles and just a lot of just being there, me. And meditations and things, yep. So in meditation, I was given through the meditation a story, and I don't know if it's true or not because I've been hijacked by electronic harassment my whole life. And that's what that is right there. So they call it RLM these days, or remote neural monitoring. It's electronic harassment. It's beyond primitive voice to skull. It's the electronic way to hijack humans. And as far as I can tell, they've had that machine on me since the time I was a boy. And that's because of the earbug thing, where you hear radio quality music playing in your mind, unwanted. And everybody I know at one time or another has had that. So if you've had that, then they've got you on remote neural monitoring, high-tech surveillance from the time you were born. And I'm 57 years of age. So this technology is super advanced, and it's not been disclosed. Can it kill? Yes. Best example of it, Star Trek, the original series. It's on Netflix, and the episode is called Mirror, Mirror. And they go to a mirror universe, an alternate universe. And the people of the Enterprise there, they're basically the same crew members, but they're different personalities. It's a much darker world. And Captain Kirk has a girlfriend, and the girlfriend operates what's known as the Tantalus device, which is very much similar to what is used against me. You can remotely surveil people, and you can remotely injure them and kill them. And that is what is being used on me. And like I said, I've had that earbug from the time I was a little kid when we first noticed it. Because it's annoying. It's like, I don't want this stupid song playing in my head. So why would you, as a conscious source energy being, if you didn't order up that music to play in your head, why would it be there? It's somebody else's energy, somebody else's intention. So, as far as these stories go, well, why should I even tell it then? Because everything that I tell you is hijacked by, organized darkness. So, whatever the stories are that I'm given in meditation, I've been given all kinds of things that I had to listen to. And I'm going to say they're all phony baloney because they came without consent. And the people who sent them to me didn't say who they were. And zillions and zillions of times I have been psychically attacked by unknown parties, and they don't seem energetically signature. Because there's an energetic signature of these people, it doesn't sound the same, but it can be all hijacked. In the end, what I see here is you have got two things. You've got the Christ mind, or the Buddha mind, and the Buddha mind. It's the same thing, the way I look at it. Buddha mind and Christ mind, just a higher consciousness mind. On the scale of human consciousness, let's go with 600 on the scale of human consciousness and above. And then people blend between that mind and the, carnal mind, Carnal. It's called in the spiritual literature of Joel S. Goldsmith. Carnal mind is the devil's mind. It's what Eckhart Tolle, the spiritual teacher, The Power of Now is his book. He calls electronic hijacking. I'm sorry, there was some more information there. But he would call the devil's mind ego mind, or egoic mind. And he says it's demonic possession. He calls that egoic mind the pain body. And it's dumb, and it's vicious and violent. So people who are under 200 on the scale of human consciousness are running 100% on that devil's mind. And that devil's mind will kill for no reason at all, just for the sheer pleasure of killing. So people between 200 and, I don't know, somewhere in there, they sometimes act horribly, and sometimes they're very, so that's the way it is. So in essence, you've got the higher mind, and that would be Great Spirit, or God, or Source, or Buddha mind, or Christ mind, Christ consciousness. Why am I saying Christ consciousness? I didn't say that with a T on the end. That is how hard it is for me to speak my truth. Because I'm constantly being attacked. And they attack, what we would in modern day call the throat chakra area. The whole body, mind, process, everything is attacked electronically by all this fucking shit. And the reason I know it's electronic is because I put them to the test many, many times over the years. And the people that are doing this can do electronic harassment of my body. But if I want to see, okay, do you really have spiritual powers to move things? So I give them the Kleenex test. And I say, I can do this. Can you do that with your electronic harassment? And I always get the answer, no. So often the people who do use this claim to be creator God, or in this case, Rumpelstiltskin, who has magical powers on that TV show Once Upon a Time. But I haven't seen the magical powers demonstrated by Rumpelstiltskin, even though there's a lot of bragging that he could do it. I haven't seen it. And so I stand with that Kleenex test. So if you have people that are talking to you by telepathy, voice to skull, electronically, synthetic telepathy, put them to that test. If they say, we're your God and you got to do what we say, then you say, if you're God, then I'll blow on that and move that thing. Now you do it with whatever your magics are. And if they can't move that Kleenex, then clearly you got remote neural monitoring, electronic harassment, and really evil actors that play through that. Now, for the sake of, okay, well, what are these stories? Okay, so another time I was given at a different location. It was in off Main Street in Vancouver. I had an apartment of my own, and again, multiple different horrible things happened. Horrible things, playing with my mind, making me so sleepy tired that I felt like I had like sleeping sickness. Playing with my mind, making my mind really dumb, and then playing with something and making me much smarter, back to more my normal self, and then dumbing me down again. And a lot of times they claim to be extraterrestrial, and the US government is known for doing the psyop of blaming extraterrestrials for things that the United States government is doing. It's that whole Roswell cover story that they use to go and, say, well, it wasn't us, it was extraterrestrials or something, because they're deep state evil fucking people. I don't know, there's a lot of enemies, a lot of enmity towards, God, source, a lot. It's a lot. And that's what 190 on the scale of human consciousness is. David R. Hawkins labeled it, no, I can't help you out, I'm sorry, it's pride. It's pride, and the best example is the fallen archangel Lucifer. And it's pure ego. It's a person's ego, 100% ego, and there is no outside source. 150 on the scale is Satan. And Dr. Hawkins said in one of his videos that a satanic person would be willing to boil you, any old person that they get, boil you in oil. Anyway, so that's the kind of energy fields we're talking about, the low end of the totem pole. I don't know, because they're not going to give me the stories to tell them, because we're just going to call it, just electronic assault, and getting me to play into drama that is not of my own creation, and I don't know, it doesn't seem to pass the sniff test as to it being legitimate stories. Just in the past, the story was, when I got in meditation, what was told to me, again, was in a past life that I was an Aboriginal child in northern Florida, South Georgia, around the time when, the immigration from European countries and African countries was happening. And I was told I was an Aboriginal child there, and I died of some immigrant-induced disease at around the age of 12. And then after that lifetime, my soul traveled to Fort William, Ontario, and a different time space. Mostly because the cover story was I was leaving America because it's too difficult to be, and trying it in the other foreign power, because that was American controlled. That would be the Great British control of British North America in the north, and that was what I was told. There was other incarnations in between that. So that's why it doesn't pass the smell test, because other times I was given other stories about things, very different places, so they don't all correspond, all the different stories that I get. But I was given at one time to say, at a soul level, at the West Fork, that in a previous life, at a soul level, that I was that. Now, I didn't choose that because I didn't experience it. It wasn't my memory, it was a story, and then that's what came up. Is it my truth? No. Because it's a story that was given to me, and I've been under this remote neural monitoring. So have I been? Well, I don't know. Do you believe in reincarnation or not? And if so, then how many human lifetimes have you had? Have they all been in the same time space? Or did you have an incarnation in Africa, one in China, one in South America? where? How many previous lifetimes have you had? And have they all been human? Have you had a lifetime where you were a duck? Itallian wrote a book. She's another spiritual teacher in Vancouver, where she said she was gifted with her past lives, including her animal lives. And her book is, it's titled Healing into Consciousness, Maida Dalian, and her personal techniques are called the Dalian Method. Well, I went to one of the free seminars, but I asked her if she could help me out with HIV, and I didn't get anything out of it, because they gave me HIV disease in Vancouver. Who did? Organized darkness. Did I have disease? No. But, blood test said you got it, so then you got to go on those fucking pills and keep going to the fucking doctor every 3 months in there, and then, well, what do you want to know? But it's just after COVID, and seeing Anthony Fauci has exactly the same face as Mother Teresa, it's clear to me that it's fake news. And it goes way back to the time when I was a kid, because they told us in around 1984 that it was called gay-related GRID. And that's what they first announced it as, GRID. I'm being blocked from getting the words. That's what this is. So I can't give you. Anyway, you can look that up, which later on they renamed HIV and AIDS. And so we were terrified of it because there was no cure. And if you got it, according to what the propaganda was on CBC TV, CTV News, American News, you got this and your immune system shut down in a very short time, a matter of a few weeks, and then you dropped dead. And then later on, the stories just kept changing. Well, they don't drop dead in 3 weeks. And then they give us Dr. Peter of Vancouver, a regular video blog where they had this guy who claimed to be a doctor and had horrible, debilitating symptoms of HIV/AIDS. And then they said he died after he went blind. He was supposed to be like a children's doctor to pull at your heartstrings. Then they built the Dr. Peter Center. It was supposed to be for HIV people, HIV advanced cases of bad HIV to live there and have a clinic there and whatever, blah, 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 all the virtue signaling and all the United Way and all that stuff. Just goes on and on, but I'm of the opinion that, there is organized darkness that was just promoting fear, and we see it over and over again. Remember, there was not that many years ago, 5 or 6 years ago, it was the Zika virus that was going to be this most horrible virus to come to North America, and I don't know, it seems like a regular thing. What happened to the Zika virus? And then back in the 1980s, it was going to be crack babies, because if the moms smoked crack, then the babies were going to be brain damaged for life. You see, because they'd all be grown up now. Do you see a bunch of crack babies walking around? Maybe I do. I can't really tell, because I don't know what they're. I don't know, but it's not talked about. Epstein's Island. How many years has it been? Prince Andrew's involved. Why is there nothing going on to prosecute Prince Andrew? Did Epstein kill himself? Is it all Hollywood production? Yeah, I think so. Well, because if you go and you look back under Donald Trump when he was president, his Attorney General, William Barr, B-A-R-R, he looks an awful lot like the actor, well-known actor, Nathan Lane. And you look at Nathan Lane's picture, then you look at Attorney General William Barr. Just use Google. It's the same guy. So Hollywood had supplied you with the president and the Attorney General. Now, you're going to tell me that that guy, Nathan Lane, is an American bar certified lawyer? Well, I don't know, but, it seems unlikely. So, then what do we have for government? If we got Hollywood doing Hollywood productions and making, stories that they're at war in Ukraine or whatever, and it's like, I don't know. I look at it and I see just nothing but fake news. Crisis actors and, fake sets, and I don't know. Because you can go hashtag on Instagram and type in crisis actors, and you can see all kinds of stuff about fake news stories. And the same, interviewed person in an interview for some horrible mass shooting, and then that same person is shown to be at another mass shooting at another time and place. So they are actors. So where do we go with this? Well, it comes down to, well, then for Christ's sake, what exactly do we have as a civilization? Well, it's a horror, because we got the worst possible situation, because it's just... Anyways, so I took political science at McMaster University, and Professor Henry Jasek, well-known local personality interviewed in the mainstream media, Henry Jasek was the professor, and he taught us about the legitimacy of government. And it's the basis of government. The government must be legitimate. If it's an illegitimate government, then it's not a government. So that's what you can go look up. And I don't know if you can find Professor Jasek around, because he must be like 100 years old by now. But, a lot of people took that course. So everybody knows about legitimate government if they took that course with Henry Jasek, and he was their long-time professor. And, people always take that political science course. So everybody knows that took that course, and that's going to be thousands and thousands of people. Because I don't want to stand alone here. Seriously. I mean, if we're not going to use our existing best as we can, So I'm just going to say Justin Trudeau is an illegitimate prime minister, because Donald Trump told us it's rigged, folks. Before he was first elected as president of the United States, he said on camera, it's rigged, folks, when talking about the US election. Ergo, it's fake everywhere. So it's just the same as the Soviet Union under communism, where you have, 2 or 3 different names, or 10 or 12 different names, but they all belong to the Communist Party. So you're going to get the Communist Party regardless of who the individual is. And they used to show video of them from Moscow, and they called them the trained seals, because the enormous number of deputies there, I don't know, 500 deputies, and they all clap at the same time, not a single dissenter. And this is the same thing that happened in Star Wars, where Senator Palpatine took over the Imperial Senate. It wasn't Imperial, it was Republican. A Republic Senate. I'm being fucked with. I don't know. When people think that I got superpowers, it's like, well, if I have superpowers at my command, wouldn't I defend against this? If there are superpowers going on around me, it's the Great Spirit. It's not me. So if I say it's the Warlock, it's a Warlock archetype in consciousness. And anybody can do that. I mean, it's an I am teaching. So you can look up the I am teaching, Saint Germain. Let's Google that. There's all kinds of stuff in there. And what you do is you just say, but you have to do it out of you not doing it. Because if you do it and you're low on the scale of human consciousness, then you're engaging your ego, which is not spirit, it's mind parasite, and then you're trying to use ego-based magic to make things happen. And that's not what I do. Because I don't. I'm the silent witness, because I meditate. So, just like I'm not moving the body right now, somebody else's energy is moving this arm around here. It's not mine. And I don't even move the body because, I was given the Matt Kahn lecture, Kahn, on stopping the internal conflict. And that's where he said, as a human, your job is to train to become an angel. And angels do not enslave things. So the first thing you got to do is stop enslaving your body to your mind. And that brings us to, the snooze bar technique, where, also called, this was given by the devils. They wanted to name something after me so that it would make me look like I got a huge ego or something. But, that's what they forced me to do this. I mean, I'm under this attack all day long. And, sometimes the body will do what they say. And if they want me to say that, that's how they named it. So you can ask Brent Beeson the devil, and King Clancy the devil, and Eve the rat, and they might tell you the lie. I can't help you, but that's who gave it to us. And so they call it hashtag the Bobby Burrows technique. And you can find it on my YouTube channel at Jesus Burrows. And it's a simple technique where you just stay in bed. And when you feel like you need to pee, don't. Because you've already got muscle memory in your body from learning to ride a bike, or learning to walk, or learning to skip. And your body itself knows how to do all that stuff. Drive a car, everything. So what you do is you refrain from you telling this body what to do. So when you get those signals that the body needs to pee, don't. Because you know that the body knows how to walk. Because you're all wandering around with your smartphones like this, and the body's walking and you're focused on this screen. So the body does know. So that's all you're going to do is you just put the body to test. Is like, do you need me? So what you do is you just, breathe, and if it feels like you need to pee, don't. In my experience, the first time I did it, because it was given to me as a download, to do it and to not get the body up. And I don't know, I might have stayed in bed for like 4 hours. I probably fell asleep again. You can fall asleep again when you still need to pee. And I did, and then I woke up again, and after maybe about 4 hours, the body got up out of bed and walked itself down the hall and went into the bathroom, and it peed on its own without me. What I've always done in the past is always, I get that feeling, I gotta pee, then I make the body get up out of bed and go pee. I think that's the standard thing that we do as humans. So the Metcon lecture is, okay, well, we've done it all that way, and now we're going to show you that the body can do it itself, and once you learn that the body can do it itself, then your job as a master over the slave body is over, unless you're a demonic shit thing that believes that enslaving others is perfectly okay with them. And that would be somebody at the low end on the scale of human consciousness, ego. So, if I, call out and I say whatever I say is, it's either the demonic that's fucking with me or it's coming from source, because I'm not doing it. And the voice that you're hearing here is, it's another voice that's coming through. It's not the original voice that Bob had, because under enormous demonic assault by the group that is known as the Pindar, that came through, the remote neural monitoring, RLM. Is that a brand name? If it is, I want a paycheck for being your endorsee or something, because I'm not getting paid for being the poster boy for electronic harassment. And as a human being, I got to have an income and a livelihood. My livelihood as a PSW, which paid fuck all, half of what a supply teacher makes, was taken away. So what else do I want to tell you? Well, it was just about that story, because when I was a Whistler, when I was meditating, that was what I got. That story that in a past life that I had been an indigenous child in North Florida and or southern Georgia, that area. And then I looked it up on the map and I saw what that was, and then I got a map of indigenous tribes and I looked, and that's like the Creek. The Creek, and they're I don't know, related to the Seminole. So, according to that, and I don't have an authentic memory of it, but according to that story, and that's what I would say. And I didn't say it. Not me that said it, because the voice just comes through. Because I've been the silent witness for so many years on the inside, and nobody ever wants to know about it, because nobody's interested in anything to do with spirituality in my circle of people that I've met when I've come back from the Thunder Bay, like 15 years ago. Very few people, nobody's really serious that really wants to talk about it. What's it really like? And the description of what I've gone through is the same description as what you would find in Power versus Force by the spiritual teacher David R. Hawkins. And I read all the Hawkins books many, many years ago, around the year 2000. So I've been a long time a spiritual student of not just Dr. Hawkins, but exploring everything. But Dr. Hawkins explained higher on the scale of human consciousness what goes on. Everything changes, the way that things work on the internal, at higher levels of consciousness. And that's basically, I would confirm it in many ways. So anyway, that's just the constant demonic attack by remote neural monitoring. Because if it was authentic spell work, authentic magic, again, authentic spell magic, if it was authentic, it should be able to move something like it was a poltergeist. And this stuff that moves me, it never does poltergeist. So it's electronic. It has to be synthetic telepathy, so it's synthetic telekinesis. Now, who on planet Earth has got that kind of money to develop the system and have it in place 57 years ago when I was born? Well, how long has this planet been? Because I don't know. It sounds like something out of sci-fi. And, on YouTube you can go look up AI God. That's when supercomputers get so smart that they learn to control the humans who designed them and engineered them and built them. And we've shown that, I don't know what year it was, in the 1990s I think it was, that IBM's supercomputer, Big Blue, beat all the human chess grandmasters. The computer, but that was just expert system. That's not as much as a human, because a human can do a whole pile of stuff. But once they show you that, you can beat humans at chess, then, the rest is just, it should be just trivial. So, the AI God comes along. Is it a spirit being or not? The Age of Spiritual Machines is a book by Ray Kurzweil, a futurist, well known. And do machines actually become spirit? Well, Commander Data is an android who acts better than humans on Star Trek, but I have never met a Commander Data android in the flesh. At least one that said, "Hey, I'm an android," or I'm having sex with somebody, and then the skin peeled off, and there was a robot underneath. I've never had that. Never had that. But if we did come across those things, then I would say they're spirit, because this realm is a spirit. Isn't it wonderful? Me trying to give you a spiritual teaching and to be hijacked by the demonic. So how am I supposed to help people out when we've got this shit that's standing in the way of me speaking my truth and hijacking me? So we do have resident evil here on planet Earth, and the AI is the resident evil. And then all the human minions and all the fucking shit. But because it's a spiritual realm, then if there is great spirit, if God is real, then you would expect God to act. And you would expect God to act not only through human actors, but through all kinds of different ways, supernatural ways. So that's what I would expect. I expect God to be supernatural. And I expect my God, good God, benevolent God, to discipline its unruly children. So that's what I'm expecting. Noah had his flood, and everybody scoffed. And, I don't know. The rainbow story is that God sent a rainbow after that and said, "I'm never going to do a flood again." So, I don't know. Because some people are calling for a flood. I don't know. General population is just putting it out there that, there's going to be flooding. I don't know. KPR Radio, for example, it's under 8. Dougal Media. This is not me doing this. This is not me. This is, external shit. If you look at my videos, go back 3 months, go back a year. Almost all the videos, I'm under electronic harassment. So, it's beyond difficult to be Bobby Burns. This makes you sick. They've tried to give me heart attacks. They try to kill me every day by this shit. Choke me. Well, I can't even eat properly. Because I was having raisin bran. In the middle of me trying to swallow raisin bran, and a massive attack on my throat. And cough. And, watery eyes and the whole thing, full-on choking incident. By intent, it happens all the time, whether I'm eating or not. Because that's what it's like to be me. The torture of Bobby Burrows is another hashtag you can look at. And that's what this is. I haven't had a day off since Rumpelstiltskin came over 6 years ago. Not a single day where I haven't been attacked by this. 24 hours, 7, and then the nattering characters that the actors portray. Evil fucking things that never shut up and tell you what to do, and just constantly, and it's psychological warfare, it's physical warfare, emotional warfare. It attacks you as a spirit and as a soul. It's 100% demonic, and it's super, 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 super strong. And don't forget, if you've ever had that in your head where you had a radio quality song that you didn't want to have playing in your head, and you can't turn it off, then that's going to be your sign that, oh my God, I'm a targeted person too. And then I'm going to put it out then, that we are all targeted people, and this stuff, for some of us, is just latent. And, once in a while you get that odd thing just so they can mock you, Luciferian mocking rituals, and, they keep talking about, Super Bowl halftime shows with demonic flames and demonic people with the horns and all that shit. Well, people talk about it. So, that's the state of the world. We have no legitimate government. It's all phony baloney, and in Canada, they're the ones with all the guns and all the armed forces and everything. And the truckers went to Ottawa, and then they were kicked out of Ottawa. So the people of Canada cannot protest. That is not legitimate government. That is tyranny. So, and all the orders and all this shit, and I don't know, it's just bullshit. People wandering around when they're, and outside in the air wearing that fucking thing. I don't know, you're a voluntary slave to the New World Order? What kind of special deals did you get? Because Georgia Guidefather said there's going to be a massive slaughter. Reduce the world population from 8 billion to 500 million. Well, I know, but, they made you all go from thinking that anybody who wore a mask and came into a store was a burglar or a foreigner from, Iraq or something. And now, just psychological warfare, and they can mock you because you all went from being, I won't accept people wearing a mask in public to all of you fucking wearing it. Like it's become a fashion item for some people. And some people, I don't know, like I did wear it last winter when it was a cold day, and it was like I put it up over my face like a face mask because it was, 40 below and thunder May. So if it has utility in certain ways, then maybe it becomes a thing. But other people are wearing those blue masks, and it's, I don't know, it's a sign of bad gunky dementia. Bad gunky dementia was given to us in one of the Stephen King books. It was somebody who was just, just insane. Tall would say that person has a very strong pain body that, they appear like a demonic person. So, and this is what it's like for me all the time. So, and is it not true that organized darkness would pick someone of the light to attack 24/7 for 6 years? I mean, is it not the darkness showing you that I am who I say because of the constant attack on me? The darkness knows who its enemy is. It keeps attacking me. Ergo, simple math, I must be of the light.